the iconic Blawnox Towers of 1110 WBT in Charlotte, North Carolina. The transmitter building that for 100 years broadcast Charlotte radio history. These are all that remain of the first commercial radio station in the Carolinas. The programming has since moved on to 107.9 FM. The land beneath the building and the towers sold for redevelopment. What will become of this land? Used to be farmland out in the middle of nowhere. Now it's in the middle of a bustling city. My guest today hopes to preserve this historic landmark. His name is Johnny Caudle. How are we doing, Johnny?
Good, Jack. How are you?
Well, we met on Facebook.
Right.
I guess we share the love of radio.
Yes.
Tell us about your career in radio.
Well, I started out in high school back in the 90s. I worked at my local AM radio station that was in the process of combining all the stations in the county into one facility. And I ran the Channel 9 News in the afternoons for 30 minutes. And my mom would sit out there in the car because I didn't have a license yet.
You're like 14, 15?
Yes, that was it. And then I eventually worked my way up, and I would do the morning show on our FM station and then truck it over to homeroom at around 8:15.
This is back in the day where they would hire 15-year-olds to run at radio stations because they were cheaper.
Right.
They didn't have to pay them, I guess, minimum wage or what have you.
Exactly. We'll do anything.
Tell us about your effort to preserve the historic site of 1110 WBT off Nations Ford Road.
Well, it just kind of sort of happened when I started to find out that the radio station was all this format happened. The format changes happened, and it just all happened at once. And then I started hearing the continuous loop that is playing, the jazz music, and I called the program director, and I'm like, "Hey, do you guys have plans for this?" You're like, "Yes, there's a plan. There's a plan, and we have a new format coming. I can't tell you much, but that's it."
So he flat out lied to you?
Well, I don't know if he lied. I'm sure he probably was told we have a new format coming.
Okay, so they lied to him.
Possibly. I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, I'm hearing the land's for sale now. And that seems like it's all, that's what it was all about, maybe, was selling the land. Because AM radio is in decline. I mean, it really is. As much as us radio geeks love the band and love everything about radio and the nostalgia about it, it's in decline. Most listeners are on FM when it comes to radio, or they're on their streaming devices. So it is what it is. But that station is 104 years old. It has been here to build Charlotte into what it is today. It's been through the good and the bad. Mm-hmm. Through Hurricane Hugo, it was here. The towers two of them got damaged, but it was still here broadcasting.
I remember that, driving by when the tower came down.
Right, wow.
I was on the way back from the Fox. We had just hit the midnight tracker. I think it was the Allman Brothers, and then, telling everybody, well, just keep the radio on. And little did I know, that big green flash I saw on the way home was the Blawnox Tower coming down.
Right.
At that historic site.
Mm. So two of them on the outside were damaged. The one in the middle that's still there, that's the original. But I started thinking, we need to save something. Can we? I know that we're not going to be able to save all of the towers. I mean, that's just a lot of maintenance. And I'm not trying to stop Urban One from selling their land, doing what they want to with it. I just want them to come to the table and have a talk. What can we save? What can we preserve? It's a historic site, and I think it matters. And I reached out to the Mecklenburg County Historic Landmarks Commission. They reached out to the broker and said, hey, we are interested in maybe buying the building, an acre of land around it, if that can be carved off from the rest of it. There's tax incentives for this. And they have not responded.
No response.
No response from the broker. I have sent multiple emails to Urban One, to the local management here. I've made phone calls. I've sent them Facebook messages, and they will look at my messages. They will look at my stories that I post. But
you'll see that they have been read.
Yes.
But then no response.
No response. And they're not the enemy. I mean, they're doing it's. They're responding to the marketplace. I think that the local management here is probably doing the best they can with the cards they've been dealt. But I just want to have a conversation, and how that's not difficult to do. Come to the table and say, hey, this is what we can do, this is what we can't not do.
Now, you started a petition online.
I did, yes.
And that's, we're linking it to our video where you can go on and sign and basically ask. We're not trying to stop a sale or anything, or,
Right.
Stop any redevelopment that can happen. But we definitely want something to be preserved, because I think there's a marker uptown where the studios used to be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
There is right there next to a parking garage. I parked essentially in the studio one time. But this site something needs to be preserved on it, and a lot of other radio enthusiasts like yourself think that something should happen, at least the building or something, one of the towers perhaps, to be preserved for posterity. You have stations, like I think in Cincinnati, WLW up there.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually developing around the tower.
Exactly, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yes, there's like a tire store or something like right there.
And WLW is still on the air. They're not going off the air anytime soon. Let's talk about the Blawnox towers. There's 3 of those. WBT is the only station in North America that I'm aware of that has multiple Blawnox towers.
Right.
A Blawnox tower is a diamond-shaped tower. The guy wires are attached to the middle of the tower. Why is that unique?
To be honest with you, I haven't got too much into that part of the history. I'm more of when it comes to radio, I'm the programming, I'm the equipment in the studio. When it gets into the technical stuff, it kind of gets over my head. The engineers are better at that. But I know there's like 8 Blawnox towers in operation in the whole world.
Yep.
So it's
And there used to be a lot more.
right. And it used to be rare. There's WSM in Nashville has one. And so, I mean, they've been a part of the skyline for years. And to just think that they won't be there anymore it's heartbreaking for me.
I've heard that WSM is also up for sale, the AM channel. Have you heard anything about that?
I've heard rumors of that. I know that a couple of years ago they wanted to change to sports, and there was such an outcry against it that there wasn't. I think the Opry is being sold, or the Gaylord Entertainment is up for sale. So I guess that's going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But that's their only radio frequency, other than they got the internet. But
WSM is where the Grand Ole Opry used to be broadcast, and it's really low. If you are familiar with AM radio, the lower you are on the AM band, the farther your signal goes.
right.
So they're like at 640, which is almost all the way to the left. 50,000 watts for them covers 6 or 7 states.
Right. During the nighttime, early morning hours, I can pick it up in Kannapolis
Yep.
like it's a local station.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
and it gets out. I mean, I've driven across Tennessee and heard it the whole way coming through.
Yep. Same for WSB in Atlanta, 750.
And WLW used to be, at one point, 500,000 watts. And it's also kind of low on the band, too. So it was like a Mexican border blaster, 500,000 watts, which turned out to be too much. People who lived nearby complained that their toasters were playing music and their dental work was buzzing and things like that. It was just a ridiculous amount of power.
Right.
Birds would fly by the transmitter and drop dead in the air because of the RF.
Right.
But, AM radio being what it is, it requires a lot of power to run a 50 kilowatt transmitter, like WBT. In this case, it was 3 towers. So you're splitting up that signal among 3 towers. It requires more power to push that 50,000 watts up the towers and out. So so for a 50,000 watt station, it requires something like 70,000 kilowatt hours of power per hour, which comes out to, and I was researching how much it costs to run. It could be anywhere from $6,000 to $150,000 a month.
So that tells me they're probably just trying to keep the license alive until they find a buyer.
Well, if you've heard the radio station went off the air. That was what started us doing our videos and whatnot.
Right.
Station went off the air for about 3 days. I did the video, I think it was Tuesday. And then the next morning I wake up and there's all these messages. You need to do research before you put videos up on the internet.
They sent me the same messages.
And I'm like, well, what happened? It's back. It's playing elevator music in the redirect loop. But I noticed that the power had been greatly diminished. I mean, if you drive around and hit 1110, you hear all kinds of fuzz and static and whatnot because the station is at reduced power. Do we know how much power?
I do not know. Every day I scan the FCC stuff to see if I can find any filings. Haven't seen anything just yet, but I can tell, like up in Kannapolis, I can tell the signal's way
Greatly diminished.
right.
Yeah.
But the signal for WBT is probably also a reason that it's not, being held onto like a WLW. It has to protect 1110 out in Omaha, Nebraska.
K-Fab. Yep.
Yep. And so at night, they have a pencil thin directional antenna. That's those 3 towers will send forces the signal up and down the East Coast. So it's heard from Maine to Cuba at night. And then in Gastonia, you might not get anything. Yeah. So that's the problem with the 1110 signal.
Well, I mean, and that's why 107.9 was such a great idea because now you can hear them all the way in the mountains.
Correct. It's a no-brainer for them. I mean, it makes sense.
Because, it does not matter. If you are in a local radio market, Charlotte, North Carolina, and your signal goes from Maine to Miami, well, you can't sell advertising in Maine or Miami, but you can sell it in Gastonia, and Gastonia can't pick you up.
Correct.
So it's better to have that FM signal that, going back to what we were saying, it's even at 100,000 watts, it costs less money to maintain an FM transmitter than it does to maintain an AM transmitter because you require 70,000 watts to get 50,000 watts with an AM, and with FM it's something like 18,000 watts to get 100,000.
You paid attention to math, didn't you?
I'm an engineer. WBT, we're not even talking about the programming they have on there now. They obviously have their audience. It's a partisan audience, let's just say. But in the day where it was the Carolinas radio station, it was truly for everyone.
It was. I mean, all kinds of programming over the years. You had the Rockin' Ray nighttime Sunday show, the trucker show overnight. It had some country on it, and then it got into the AC music. It's been everything, and everyone could enjoy that. It doesn't matter, what you believe. You can listen to the program and enjoy it.
And, H.A. Thompson was like the midday guy. Right? He was number one across the Carolinas. I remember at one point WROQ bested him at number one. That was the end of an era for Charlotte radio when H.A. Thompson was no longer number one.
Yeah.
And the names that have come out. Name some of the names that you know. John Hancock.
And I'm glad he is a part of the support here.
Right.
He's voiced his support for the effort.
Sherry Latch, by the way, who was one half of Bob and Sherry,
right,
also endorsed your petition.
Right. I am so excited to have those two on board. I hope to have more Charlotte radio personalities on board. Jack.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get an army, just trying to get the coverage out there. Maybe Urban One will have to respond at some point, even if it's no comment.
And who owns the TV station? Because I know the TV and radio stations are separate.
That's owned by Gray, I believe, Gray Television.
Yeah. I mean, certainly they'll have something to say about that. That's their heritage sister station.
I've emailed them. And nothing. So I have gotten more response. Maybe WCNC is interested.
Yeah.
I've talked to Channel 9, but I haven't heard from anybody else.
That's crazy that you would think Charlotte media would care about what began Charlotte media.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
I mean, how long was WBT on the air before WBTV came on the air?
Right.
25 years?
Yes.
It was at least that.
Right.
And they came on, what, 1949?
49, 48, somewhere around there.
I'll have to look it up. But I mean, they were also the first commercial TV station in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of history there to parse out. But you have so many of these people who are still with us. Bob Lacey is among those.
I've reached out to Bob. Hopefully he will be coming on board. I don't want to pressure anybody. It's their decision.
He's retired. He's down in Hilton. Yeah,
He's
he's loving life.
right. So we'll see. We'll see who comes up and helps us. I have so we're almost at 500 signatures on the petition.
That surprises me. I mean, we got over the weekend people just this outpouring of just people giving us their memories.
Mm-hmm.
We got 75,000 hits on one video over the weekend, or two videos, and I could not believe the people who were, I can't believe this. I remember this. I remember that. This was, we had a table radio growing up. It was always on 1110. I have memories of listening to 1110 because it was the best signal coming into Lancaster, South Carolina. And it was, pointing right at us, so it was the best radio station in town.
Right.
Even though we had local radio, we always listened to Charlotte. Couldn't get big waves. Let me ask you about that. Big waves, what's up with that situation? Because they are owned also by Urban One.
And their land is for sale.
And that's a lot more land.
About 50 acres, I believe, if I look correctly. There's 4 towers out there.
They have 4 towers, which have to be spaced a certain distance apart. As I remember, when I was at WRFX, we had bought that station for a while and started what was called, at the time, Fox 610 Sports. But at night, I mean, the guys who were running the radio station in the control room, we couldn't get it at the station. Because the nighttime pattern switched and it was so radically different. During the daytime it was fine, but at night you could barely hear it.
Yeah. So that land is for sale as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that you can buy the license, but you'll have to move to a new transmitter site. And the same thing for WBT. I was at Bible Broadcasting Network a couple weeks ago, and I asked them, I said, hey, did Urban One offer you 1110? They're like, yeah, they did. But we'd have to move the transmitter because that land is for sale. And good luck finding that acreage in the Charlotte area to duplicate that signal. So if it got sold, got moved, it would not be at 50,000 watts anymore. It would have to be downgraded to a lot less power.
It'd have to be downgraded, possibly. If they did try to do 50,000, they'd have to move it out into, Chester County, Winsboro, someplace like that.
Right.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
You might get 50,000 watts during the day, but at nighttime you'd have to
hold back, yeah. I wonder if a station like KFAB would consider, well, now that WBT's gone, we can go non-directional.
That would be so weird. But I mean, stations in other situations have bought other stations and taken them off the air just so they can increase the power for their station. So, the stranger things have happened. I don't know what's going to happen. I did hear that maybe 1110 was being sold to a religious broadcaster, but I can't confirm that because no one will talk to us.
Why is that? Why is no one talking? Because they don't want anyone to know what's going on, do you think? Or
I think that's probably it.
There's a lot of outrage and they're just trying to shield themselves from that?
I don't know about the outrage just yet, but if they can just make it quietly go away, then there won't be any, rocking the boat.
Well, I don't know. It's like what I saw over the weekend, every 10 minutes, some comment coming in on Facebook, these people are really upset about it.
Right.
And a lot of them don't listen to WBT now. It was all about H.A. Thompson and John Hancock and Henry Bogut.
Yeah, when you think about WBT, you're thinking about, not today. You're thinking about the 90s, the 70s, back in the 60s. That's the history that I'm thinking about. Today's programming, it's not my cup of tea. outside the morning show, it's
A lot of syndicated stuff.
It is. So it's not my cup of tea. So that's not really where I'm focused at. I did get a comment that the city council of Charlotte, they are not going to support that station. They're not going to support your efforts. They didn't get elected by WBT. But I'm not focused on today's program, and that's irrelevant to me.
Yeah. So who do we have on board now as far as preserving the site?
As far as publicly, I've got John Hancock and I've got Sherry Lynch.
What historic group is?
The historic is the Mecklenburg County Historic Landmarks Commission. Spencer Gray is the director there. He has emailed multiple times to the broker, and got no response. He is the one who said, we are interested in buying the building.
Yeah.
So
The building itself, and we haven't talked about this yet, there is a Cold War era fallout shelter in the building that is museum quality. The fact that it's intact and it is still, I think WFAE went in there a couple of years ago to, check it out. There's some pictures that are in there. What becomes of that?
I guess it's bulldozed, Jack. I mean, I don't. If we can't preserve it, I mean, I'm sure it's probably gone.
I mean, you would think that, in my mind, just one tower will be fine. Keep one tower, keep the building, open it up to the public as a museum. I mean, the government has been funding that as a fallout shelter even up until recently.
Right.
I mean, they have updated the equipment and everything in there. I don't know what they know that we don't.
Well, it seems like everyone's trying to protect, classified information. It's just radio.
But it was never open to the public because of the government funding.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, John Hancock suggested a Charlotte Broadcast Museum, a WBT park around something.
Yeah.
If all we get is a plaque, it's all we get. But, we would like to have the building.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems that at least should be preserved. This is the first commercial station in the Carolinas. It was how many stations were there before it? 6, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, it was the 6th station period. It was in some guy's house in a chicken coop.
Chicken coop, yep.
At one point.
4XD is what
the original call sign. That's right. And radio and television history amazes me. There used to be a TV channel 1, and WNBC New York was on channel 1 for a while.
Right.
Back when that first came on. So and there was another FM radio band that most people think of FM radio as 88 to 108 now. It used to be 42 to 50 or whatever it was.
Well, that was before my time, way before my time.
Johnny, I really appreciate your time today and your efforts to preserve this historic landmark. I know, as the word spreads, people are probably going to be outraged by hearing that, this historic monument may be just bulldozed without regard for the history behind it.
Hopefully we can save something so that generations to come can, ride by there and say, hey, what, and ask and learn, so that when AM radio is one day gone, we can still remember it.